Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. It is raining outside. It is the later part of July of 2025. Right here, we've got some Welsh poppies. Interestingly, they've also developed some seed heads after flowering. Remembering that's actually what they sort of develop during their flowering period. And yeah, I did not notice that. So that is their little seed heads. I don't know what they do with their little seed heads, apart from the fact that they just disperse all of the seeds by hand. And there's a cat there. Hello. You seem to be the real instigator in my videos on YouTube. Somehow you always seem to be a megastar. You somehow like to be part of my videos on YouTube. I don't know why, but you seem to get a lot of attention. Don't you there, puss? I won't say other words, but hey, you know what? This cat, strange enough, because the weather has straightforward gone a little bit cooler, for some reason the weather has decided to, basically alter the way I've just started to wear. Even though it's a bit humid and a bit warm, strangely enough, it's not that cold. I bet that cat's straightforward hungry. I'm not sure if I've got any chances of feeding this guy. I don't think so, to be honest. Not sure about that. But, yeah, to be quite obviously honest, hey, I feel like, I did give him a bit of chicken, I think it was. So I did give 1 or 2 strips of chicken, but I wouldn't probably do so because that's probably other people's food. Or actually, other people's pets. And strangely enough, that cat always seems to be straightforward and lined towards me. Hello, little cat. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a gardening touring around. And that's actually a video idea I haven't been doing for basically at least around, for weeks, if not months on end. So yes, as I've almost started to lose energy, strange enough, I'll be doing my garden tour around. But first off, that cat is straightforward, tailing right behind me. And look at that swishy tail. Look at that. As you were saying, oh my goodness me, that cat always seems to have the tail on the flick. Very cool looking cat as always. Yep, strangely enough, just... Oh! The birds don't seem to like the cat so far. I'm pretty sure that's the thing of cats. They always seem to be on the hunt. But most of the time, they're just very curious. In fact, very curious looking cats. And actually, as I'm going up towards the other part of the neighborhood here, look what we've just got. These are poppy seed heads. In fact, they're actually coming up from other people's neighborhoods, so I'm actually just going to grab those, and I'm going to start dispersing them. That cat there seems fairly interested. I can't really tell why. Am I getting really distracted about that cat? And you can see it's actually prowling on the loose. Strange enough, it's actually coming up towards where my neighborhood here is, but what I'm going to do is just straightforward, as very nice as this sounds. If I turn up towards the seed heads, I'm going to unload the seeds, or actually what that this head comes in with. There is a lot of like poppy seed heads inside there. They normally seem to work well on much, well, let's just say warmer and / hotter days and drier days actually. But today's gone rapidly cool, so there's been a complete change in the weather pattern, so I suppose those seed heads are looking a little bit dysfunctional, as far as I can really tell. Don't know what to really say. And that cat is still being very, very curious. I'll tell you what, that cat is always on the move. Oh, I don't think you should probably visit in towards my neighborhood here. But that cat always seems to be around all the time. Straightforward, coming right over at me. Oops, I think I just scared the cat, because I had to wash my my hand so far, because there was like poppy seeds and stuff. Anyways, let's go up towards the backyard garden, and that cat seems to have a very interesting bond towards me. I don't know why. Maybe I might have bonded that cat for a long period of time, and the rain has decided to go a little bit heavy, but this time I'm going to show you all the things that I've just been growing, and also some of the things that have started to decay, which is also a little bit sad. Okay, with the rain taking over the whole video, it's actually becoming quite relentlessly heavy at the moment here, so I don't know what to really say here after filming with all of that rain involved. As you can see, a lot of zinnias have actually been doing fairly well, although this one here I think the rest of the zinnia seedlings have been doing so well, but what I'm probably seeing is starting to probably find something where it's a little bit, not that good. And that cat has decided to take a bit of roosting right over at the shed because it is raining. But I don't really care, because what I'm actually on about is my plants. And I tell you what, I haven't been making this series for a long period of time. There is my giant cosmos plant, which hasn't really sprouted any. It actually hasn't sported any flower blossoms at the very moment. But speaking about blossoms, look what we've got. We've actually got a pure 8-petaled cosmos flower. Now that is what I really want to see. And what's even more interesting is that we've also got a little seed head. What I could have done was probably deadheaded this cosmos for more flowers, but then I could probably say otherwise. Okay, the main powerhouse here is the nasturtium. We might as well take a look at the... What is that? Is that a caterpillar? I'm very aware about this specimen here. I might probably just find out what that caterpillar is. Is that like a tiger moth caterpillar thing? I've got no idea what that thing is. I'm totally aware. I don't know how good or bad this thing is. I hate to think that this is a poisonous specimen. But that caterpillar there does look quite interesting. Let me just go inside the shed here with the cat and see what that thing is. And I'm actually quite curious what that caterpillar was that. What is that thing there? And the cat straightforward, why do you always want to be on video? That is a very strange looking thing here. I've got no idea. Oi, that's my arm. What are you doing? You seem to like playing around with things. So what is that thing? I've got no idea what that caterpillar thing is doing. Strange, isn't it? I don't know if it's actually like curling just to detect any threats and stuff. I have no idea what specimen of caterpillar is that. And, oh man, no, don't actually go up towards this little critter here. I wonder what is that thing there. I've never worked out what specimen of caterpillar is that. I haven't really worked out. Oh, okay, I can just see it's actually got like poisonous stings. So I would probably not touch this thing because of the fact it's got tiger stripes on it, and the cat is taking over the whole video. And strange enough, you can start to see why there's a lot of that going around here. You can actually see why this caterpillar has started to curl. As you can see, it's quite a nice specimen. I've never worked out what specimen of caterpillar is that, which has tiger stripes. It could be a tiger moth, and that cat is straightforward, very much an instigator. He always seems to be like that. Eh? You always seem to find out if there's any like food and stuff, hey, but I'm not quite totally sure about that. It's quite rare when I've got a caterpillar in my backyard garden, but I don't know what specimen that thing is. Can someone identify the specimen name for me, please? And this caterpillar here is quite a very unique specimen. Who knows about that? The problem with caterpillars is that they can actually damage my garden plants. As you can see, it's actually got hairy looking spines right over here, so I'm going to have to be very careful about this thing, or else it might probably sting at me. Or actually, in this case, let me just squash that little blighter. Dead as a dodo, thank goodness for that. Okay, with the rain subsiding now, usually in the summer the rains are just short bursts of intense rain. Okay, so we've got some nasturtiums here. This one here looks like it hasn't got any flower blossoms now, as you can see. And as I'm cooling around, we've actually got a lot of nasturtium flowers. They're actually doing fairly well. Some of them are straightforward, not doing very well because of the wet weather that we're having at the moment. And this actually comes as a bit of a prelude just after we had some very hot and dry weather from like the first half of July. And that was very interesting somehow. The cosmos that we've got here, which has got that flower with the correct amount of blossoms, that actually straightforward has bent so far, and I'm probably guessing it might have bent so far because of the amount of rain that we're just seeing at the moment now. Maybe it's the wrong kind of rain. I might be totally wrong here. And there's a couple of pigeons that have decided to straightforward gawk around in my neighborhood here, but I'm going to focus on the plants. So briefly look at the pigeons, only look at what's right at screen there. There is a lot of wet nasturtium flowers here. I'm going to probably deadhead some of these flowers, which I've seen far much better days. Yep, that one's gone. There's a dandelion here that's trying to encroach my nasturtiums here. So as I'm starting to see a lot of weed activity going on here. And as funny as it sounds, hey, you know, it has been bone dry from the last couple of weeks or so, but look at this now. My lawn has now decided to turn all the way around, and that's actually quite a very good thing. So there's more nasturtiums here, most of which don't seem to be, you know, blossoming. I think they usually blossom just after the first initial growth period around, let's just say, springtime. I think I've planted most of these during April. And what's very funny is that if I ever just started look around, have I just really just started looking around my nasturtiums yet? I don't know why I'm saying it so badly somehow, but anyways, look at this nasturtium here. It has actually grown very vast. The nasturtium that I have, it has rapidly grown, and as you can see, it has actually made some very unusual shapes, like a very weird hand-shaped nasturtium. And in fact, look at this plant here. It has actually grown very, very wide, and in fact, it's very interesting for the fact that this nasturtium is actually growing like wild. You can actually see why is this plant so successful here. We've also got more blossom buds coming out here from this plant, which is nice to know as the season progresses. And the peculiar thing is that when I look around through this backyard garden, you can see there's more nasturtium flowers that have actually started to die out or wilt because of the amount of hot weather and dry weather that we had so far in the last couple of weeks. Now being totally suffering from like insidious rainfall. Hopefully it's not that insidious. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know what term am I just using here. Bloody hell. Anyways, apart from the nasturtiums, we've also got Sorry, hold up. Is it... what's the name of the flower again? I often mistake that as Corydoras, the name of the fish, but these flowers here are actually called the Coreopsis type flowers. Those ones there, okay, which had like yellow blossoms in it, they have now straightforward decided to turn themselves into like seed heads. Strange enough, I can actually see some more additional blossoms, but I think they've just sort of failed. Of course, we've got some banana peels and lemon skins and that sort of stuff like that because I'm using it as fertilizer, and we've also got a grapefruit as well. Very nice to know somehow. Very nice to know. I'm also quite curious of just how much work have I been doing. I've actually added a sunflower seedling on one of those black plant pot type things, and that actually straightforward has grown very nicely. And I can also start to see a lot of sunflower seedlings as well. They've actually grown really nice and healthy as well as tall at the same time. And I can also see that one of the tomato seedlings has also started to grow really, really fast. So I don't know how that this is actually going to make a very vital impact to my whole ecosystem of plants. Yes, I've just grown a very nice tomato seedling. Pair of them, of course, is actually 1 to 2 of each somehow. And we can actually start to see a cluster of them just growing, which is nice to know. And as I'm just moving around, there's more zinnia seedlings, and there's those big ones here. Hopefully by late summer, up towards autumn time, we will start to see a huge swath of zinnia flowers blossoming into heaven mode, which will be fantastic. And I tell you what, it's actually been very stunning. And because we had so much rain, look at the zinnia seedlings. They have been been totally inundated with a bit of water, only just the bottom half of the plant pots that they're in. And we've also got more zinnia seedlings. As you can see, there's a lot of bending caused by overwatering from the rain itself. And as I'm walking around, of course, I can start to see some zinnias. I think what's very important to say is that those plants there that I've just planted are very drought tolerant. So in that case, they're very tolerant to very much prolonged dry weather periods and that sort of stuff. Mind you, there's a lot of background field mustard flowers around in this part of where I live. And there's also some dandelions here. Okay, they're nicely blossoming, but I don't know how they're going to really cope. And the seagulls are laughing outside in the background. But anyways, I am just going to straightforward wipe my screen here because the next thing I'm going to talk about it's not just the seagulls but in the background there, but oh my god, a lot of seagulls around here. Quite weird. We've got 3, probably about 4 seagulls around here. Could have just thrown some bread. But anyways, I'm going to straightforward have a look at the other plants that I've just grown so far in my backyard garden without the seagulls taking over my neighborhood. And as I'm walking around across through this vast swathe of various plants here, we've got more dandelions here. There's more of these weird looking blue flowers here. There is another cosmos seedling, which looks like it has grown much taller. I can see a little carder bee doing its little hard work type thing. As you can see, it's buzzing around. And the rain has finally stopped. Thank goodness for that. And we can also start to see other flowers appearing. There's also some more wheat. Okay, ready for harvesting. Maybe for the next heat wave, I suppose, hey, if it does happen or not. And we've also got more yellow flowers. But I think, unfortunately, they've actually straightforward been wilted by the excessive amount of wet weather that we've just seen. And there's more flower meadows tucked in the back. It's quite a nice theme. Quite a nice theme into it, obviously, of colours and stuff like that. There's a bird feeder here that I'm going to have to probably refuel, because I do know that the weather has gone significantly cooler. Hopefully, to get ready for autumn time, the birds will straightforward be fattening themselves up. Right, we've got some more onions here. Now, this onion thing right here, it has actually grown so significantly better by the looks of it. This onion here, unfortunately, has been dead so far. The onion that you can see here, actually these two here are actually doing pretty much fine, although we have actually seen a complete chuck down of rain. It's probably near average rainfall if you ask me, in terms of how many millimeters and not how many days we're going to get. But let's take a look. We've also got these weird looking orange flowers, and most importantly we've got the wild cabbage. Ta-da! We've got some wildflower blossoms going in here. But I don't think it's that great, because we had so much rain that has totally saturated the complete and utter amount of soil. But most importantly, as I'm going up towards here, we're going to be taking a look at this potato. And I wonder if this potato is ready to harvest or not. I'm actually going to straightforward pull the whole plant out and see what's like. There's no flowers, as you can see here. It's actually been very, very big, that potato plant. And let's just see how this thing is going to potentially grow. I can start to see some more leaves growing here. But let me just pull the entire plant and see what we've got. Yes! We've actually got a few potatoes right there. Oh my goodness me. Wow, I actually can't believe this. Wow, there's actually quite a few potatoes that have been generated. What I could have done was waited up towards, you know, the later part of August, up towards September. But hey, look what we've got, guys. We've got some actual potatoes right in the backyard garden. And thank goodness I finally decided to harvest that amount of potatoes. And I don't know how good or bad these spuds are to eat, because I got a funny feeling, hey, this is actually amazing somehow. Wow, I can't believe it. There's actually about 3 to 4 potatoes that I've got in my backyard garden. There's actually quite a few big potatoes, I suppose, say. This is actually amazing that I've just found some potatoes in the backyard garden. I'm quite curious what I can grow, maybe for the next time, I suppose, hey. That's quite an excellent harvest I've got here. I could have just worn, like, gloves and stuff, hey. But, hey, I've decided to harvest a bit of potato action right from this point here, a bit earlier than usual, hey, because of the weather that we're having at the moment here. Okay, it's very amazing. I know these potatoes are a bit small, but hey, you know what? I think these guys look really nice to eat. So in that case, hey, I might as well just take them into my kitchen and just start eating. Well, there you go. So the potato plant is now being harvested. And finally, thank goodness for that, you can just put a potato in the backyard garden and just let them grow. That's amazing to see. Wonderful stuff indeed. Quite amazing stuff somehow. I'm actually quite curious how many potatoes I would have actually been able to grow within months' periods of time, but I don't think this potato plant is going to live that much now. So that's probably about it. Yep. I've just finally harvested my potatoes, but that's probably not enough for me. Maybe I could have just started growing another potato by using these and put them onto the ground and then just let them grow. for another couple of months. Maybe I should try and do that for next year's spring, hey? But anyways, that is about it throughout the rest of what I've done so far. Harvesting those potatoes and blah blah. So if you really enjoyed in this wonderful, incredible video of gardening madness that you haven't seen for a long period of time, because there's been a lot of toy reviews and whatnot so far this weekend. Of course, you're not going to sit next, don't you? And the cat's gone away now. Please, if I get the camera right, give the video a very good like. Yes, I'm saying it to you guys. Give the video a very good like. And subscribe for more videos in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching in this mega gardening tour. Strange enough, I haven't covered that type of subject for a long period of time. And I'll tell you what, after harvesting that potato, mind you, I feel really, really good. Okay, that's it. And bye for now.